Today we're going to solve equations by using the reciprocal of a fraction. What is a reciprocal? To make a reciprocal, you're going to take your fraction and flip it upside down. So the reciprocal of 3/4 would be 4/3. The reciprocal of 1/2 would be 2/1. So using your notes, follow along. The reciprocal of 2/3, we are going to take 2/3 and we're going to flip it upside down. So the reciprocal of 2/3, we take the numerator to the denominator and the denominator up to the numerator. So the reciprocal of 2/3 would be 3/2. The second one, the reciprocal of -4/5, we turn it upside down, we don't change its sign, and that would be -5/4. On a negative fraction, it doesn't matter if your negative goes on the top number, on the bottom number, or out in front. So you could have written this as 5/-4 as well. Now, to find the reciprocal of a whole number, like 7, we need to make it into a fraction. So 7 as a fraction is 7/1, and then we're going to take its reciprocal. So that would be 1/7. And the last one, the reciprocal of 1/3, we flip it upside down, which is 3/1, or just 3. Now we're going to use that to solve some equations. So each one of these equations, we have 2/3 of a number equals 10. Remember, this means to multiply 2/3 times x. So what we're really doing is dividing both sides by the fraction 2/3. But if you remember back to our fraction unit, when we divide by 2/3, what we really do is we flip, so we're going to multiply by its reciprocal. And if we do that to the left-hand side of our equation, then we also have to go over here and do that to the right-hand side. And if we remember how our fractions work, over here the 3's will cancel out, and the 2's will all cancel out, and that'll leave us just the x, which is what we want. We're still trying to isolate that variable. And over here, we can reduce the 10 and the 2, and we get the whole number 15. Let's try another. This time we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 3/4. So the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. So over here on the left we're going to multiply by 4/3, which means we have to come over here on the right and multiply it by 4/3 as well. So on this side our fractions cancel out, 4's cancel out, the 3's cancel out, so we have just the x left. And over here we can reduce the 6 and the 3, will leave me a 1 and a 2, so 2 times 4 would make 8. Let's try just a couple more. So we have -4/5 x equals 12, so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we flip that upside down, and we multiply by -5/4. And that means we multiply the right-hand side by -5/4 as well. The -5 and the 5 reduce the -4 and the 4. And since those were both negatives, that makes us have a positive. And over here we can reduce the 4 and the 12. 12 becomes a 3, the 4 becomes a 1. And a +3 times a -5 makes a -15. Try one last question. Reciprocal of 3/5. Flip that upside down, which means we are multiplying by 5/3. And if we multiply this side by 5/3 as well, the 5's cancel out, the 3's cancel out, so on the left we just have an x, and over here on the right those will cancel, leave us an 8. 8 times 5 makes 40. Alright, now it's your turn to try. Here are your 4. So in the boxes at the bottom of your sheet, fill in with these questions. 4/9 x equals 12. -5/3 x equals 15. -6 equals 2/7 x. And be careful on this one because your variable's over here on the right. But you're still using the reciprocal. And 14 equals -7/8 x.